Okay, so we're here with Diarmuid Gavin in the flower domes in the Grand Designs.
Great domes, aren't they? Just this whole idea of the geodesic dome really come to life on a domestic scale. I love this. Yeah. Let's talk about this.
Well, it's been very popular with the visitors all weekend, and it's a fantastic sort of feeling being inside these domes. There's lots of fantastic planting. We're going to ask them a few questions as we've got you here. So what we'd like to know is if someone's starting a garden from scratch, what are the basics they should consider before they get started?
Okay, gardens are all about, and they're increasingly becoming about the garden ephemera, furniture, water features and everything like that. But if you're starting from scratch, it's important to get the horticultural bits, the relatively boring bits to a lot of people right. Finding out what type of soil you have, if the soil needs improving, doing that, putting big investment into the soil, plenty of well-rotted organic material, where you're going to be having your main type of planting. And the other thing is to learn about, in the first year, just learn about your garden. Watch what's happening, watch where the sun is at different times, and begin to make lists of the type of garden you like, the type of plants you like, and what you feel you're inspired by, so that when it comes to doing the overall design, you'll know where you're going with it.
Okay, good. Sounds like good advice. And if someone's looking to transform a dull, dreary garden, what's the sort of cheapest and easiest way they can make the biggest difference?
The cheapest and easiest way are plants, either by taking cuttings yourself, growing plants from seed, or by going to the garden centre. So without a doubt, keeping it simple. If you want to put paving in, if you want to put decks in, look for good, interesting material. But really, I think you can make, even from packets of seeds, you can make an extraordinary garden bloom ferociously, even in the first year. So that's what I would do in these days of credit crunch. Just go for seeds. And it's brilliant. Just clean the soil, rake some around March, April, when the fear of frost is gone, sprinkle them in the ground and see what comes up. So have a lazy year the first year and see what you can achieve for pounds.
Okay, sounds good. And if someone wanted a garden to look good but doesn't have the time, like a lot of us don't these days, to maintain it and spend hours in the garden, what advice have you got for people to have that sort of beautiful but low maintenance effect?
Well, this is what all garden designers absolutely hate, the people who want a beautiful kind of haven, a paradise, but without the work. It can be achieved, but what you end up with is county council type planting. So it's ground cover planting, getting shrubs that are pretty much evergreen, that'll grow maybe from 6 to 8 inches high, but will just cover ground and smother any weeds that are emerging. So just a good collection of ground cover plants, and then specimens emerging through them, like Japanese maple. There's one in a garden over there, beautiful autumnal colour. Ground cover, autumnal cover, and a few maybe specimen stones. So keep it really simple.
Okay, and if there's one thing that a garden should have in your mind, what would that be?
Trees. Definitely trees. Any garden, whether front or back of house, of any size. If it's a front garden, put in one specimen tree to add to the whole streetscape. You can buy trees from this time of the year on very, very cheaply, especially when it comes to midwinter, bare rooted, and plant them as young as possible. If you plant a specimen when it's just over being just past whip stage, it might cost you £4 or £5. It roots, it anchors itself in the soil very, very easily, and will shoot past the mature specimen that your neighbour might have planted in just a couple of years. So trees are the big specimens for me in a garden.
Okay. And if someone's got a small garden, a small space, they want to have the planting, they want it to look beautiful, what tips have you got for maximising a small space?
Don't try too many different shapes or too many different styles or too many different materials in a small area. Courtyard gardens can be beautiful. Don't put something, if it's a small area, don't put something in the centre. What you try and do is keep the eye going around with a number of different focal points or specimens. In terms of shape, if you're using squares, rectangles, just repeat patterns through the way, or the same thing with circles. So keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Okay, fantastic. Thanks very much.
No.